Dominic Cruz slightly on the underdog tonight, minus 105. Pedro Munoz slightly favored, minus 115. Cruz in white, Munoz in black, and we are underway.
One of the things about Dominic Cruz is his ability to move in and out. He's very fast, and it showed in the Casey Kenny fight that even as he's been away for a while, as he's starting to make another run towards trying to become a champion, that speed is still very evident when he's in the octagon.
And interesting, look at Pedro's ankles. He's got them fully taped up, and then he's got wraps over the tape. That could be because he's planning on kicking a lot of calves and shins.
Yes,
and Cruz usually goes for those ankle wraps when allowed. He does not wear them tonight. Perhaps a good sign about how he's feeling.
Woo! Pedro just missed with that head kick. I mean, that trimmed the hair off of Dominic Cruz.
Right hand from Cruz gets through. He told us he was looking forward to getting back to fighting a conventional fighter to really let his combinations flow. Ooh! Nice body kick from Munoz after Cruz landed a cracking left hand upstairs.
It's the stance switches of Dominic Cruz. When he enters in one way, and by the time that the punches are landing, his stance is completely changed. He's off to the side. He's not where he thought you would be. And it's hard to really figure out the puzzle that is Dominic Cruz. And Joe, like you said on the walk, Alpha Male fought him so many times before they figured out a way to defeat him with Cody Garbrandt.
But Cody had the right set of skills and the game plan. There was a lot of things that came together that allowed Cody to defeat Dominic. But he was a puzzle for so long. And you gotta give him credit for that, because his style is something he completely invented himself to avoid damage. He decided to figure out, like, what's the best way to have a long career? Don't get hit. What's the best way to not get hit? Move your feet a lot. Move and do it in a way where you can't be timed and no one knows what you're doing. I mean, he does stuff that no one does. Like, he hops back and puts both of his feet together.
Oh! Massive
Pedro Munoz caught him clean.
Another drop for Munoz.
Dom's in real
Cruz
trouble.
goes face first to the canvas. Munoz trying to close it out.
Pedro Munoz got some serious power.
Dominic's got a Peterson there. Look at him take the Peterson. Now it's going to be on Pedro Munoz to try to trap that arm. We saw this way back in the beginning of the UFC. One guy had a Peterson. He just started dropping hammer fists from this position.
Gary Goodridge. Against Paul Herrera.
Yep. Great job by Cruz recognizing not letting his arm get trapped.
Yeah.
2+ minutes to go here, round one.
He got hit with some big shots and rocked more than once. And Pedro Munoz is now sharpshooting, just looking for that opening to land one of those big hands again.
Pedro caught him in the middle of one of those switches, right? Because every time you switch, you got to kind of square up a little bit. He caught him in the middle of a switch and landed a beautiful right hand.
Munoz has done his homework, starting to find his range fairly consistently now. He's landed 59% of his strikes thus far.
Good low kick there for Munoz.
And that did immediate damage to the inside of Cruz's leg.
Munoz got caught there. Dominic caught him with the right hand.
And one thing we know about Pedro Munoz is he can take a shot. You remember when him and Cody Garbrandt were going crazy on each other, and it was him getting hit until he landed and Cody went down. So you can't play the I'll take one to give one against Pedro Munoz. Another thing to think about with Pedro is he's a very high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You hardly see it because most of his fights... Oh, look at this. Dom's got his neck here. Dom's on the front headlock. Beautiful knee to the body.
Under a minute to go in the round. Cruz also does pride himself on his ability to withstand damage in fights. Very hard guy to put away.
Well, Cruz has responded beautifully to this. Not many people can, because after being hurt that badly, he's had really good moments in the last couple minutes of the first round. He's definitely gotten Pedro's respect with some of those punches.
These guys struck up a friendship in 2015 when Dominic was in Brazil to call Munoz's fight against Jimmy Rivera. Oh, beautiful combination from Cruz.
That was a nice left hook by Cruz.
Munoz seemingly eats it without issue. He attacks the body now. Nice Connection by Cruz late in the round.
It's a jab that hurt him.
Jab
caught him in the middle of a wild swing. He's off balance as well. And look at this left hook. And the left hook was bad. I mean, his whole body went limp, arms dropped. He was in real trouble there.
She's going on instinct at that point, right?
High kick is open. Hey, that mixing is in. Remember the exits in. So you throw a combination, whatever you throw, step in, under, or under. Okay? Don't pull back so much. If you're gonna move. Moving is giving, the range is perfect, you're working. Get to work that, create a little bit of volume, look for second attacks. You got his range, trust your speed, trust your power. You're hurting him too. Deep breath, okay? We give him that round just because he hurt us on that one. Stay on the hustle, you're good. Yeah. So we're gonna take it next to you, you're good. Just keep that range, play that range, and look for exit forward, not back.
Back.
Eric Del Fierro acknowledging to Dominic Cruz that he lost that first round, just given the damage from Munoz, but Cruz had his moments.
Especially to end the round. So I'm encouraged if I'm Team Cruz, because it feels like he was able to work his way back into the round, even though it'll be hard to think that you could have won the first round after getting dropped twice. Eric told him, you lost the round because he dropped you, but Dominic had some moments there.
It's in those wild haymakers that Dominic throws that he kind of gets reckless and keeps his hands down low. And Pedro Munoz has clearly done his homework and looked at tape. And he timed it brilliantly with that jab. The jab that started it all off.
Well, and it's because when Dom enters, right, all the momentum's going forward.
Yes.
So if you get a punch meeting that momentum coming forward, it really does hurt you.
But all credit to Dom for surviving that and coming back to have some great moments.
Yes.
27th pro fight for Munoz. He has never been finished.
Well, the toughness of Pedro Munoz was on full display in the fight against Jose Aldo. He took some real shots against Aldo, who's proven to be just who we always thought he was. And Pedro was in there for 3 rounds with him and had to go through the fire to stay standing against Jose.
We check in with Alliance MMA's Eric Del Fierro.
1-2 reload, GSP, 1-2. Yes. Yep, go with the left. Yep, go with the fake the right.
Let it go.
Fake the right, straight left. Left kick's coming. 2 punches. Good. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Corner liked the response from Cruz there. Inside leg kick lands flush for Munoz.
I mean, Cruz is getting there. He's much faster than Pedro. So when he throws his jab out there as a feeler, and then he sits back and throws the right hand.
He's checking a lot of those low calf kicks as well. And the corner like that.
Yeah, I was wondering why they were excited. Now I know. Shot from Munoz now. Cruz wise to it. Under 3 minutes to go, round 2.
Cruz is staying very active in front of Pedro Munoz. And honestly, first round started like this too. He just has to avoid the mistakes that really did cost him in round number 1. Because Munoz is waiting. He's got power in his hands and knows that if he can land now, he can hurt Dominic Cruz.
Dean Thomas, what do you have, sir?
You know, for as unpredictable as Cruz is with his style, he's better served keeping that and staying disciplined with being unpredictable. Because I can promise you, I know Pedro Munoz, and he's waiting for another opportunity for Dominic Cruz to come in and have an exchange with him, because that is the fight that he wants.
Good left hand by Cruz.
And that cut Pedro open. Nice little combination from Cruz.
This is a beautiful round by Dominic Cruz. Pedro's hardly landed anything in round number 2 because Cruz is fighting at his pace and really dictating the engagements and not looping punches as he did in round number 1. And then he loops the left hook there.
But this is vintage Dominic Cruz in terms of footwork, the unpredictable movement. He like feints that he's coming in, then it backs up. It's so hard to figure out what he's up to.
Munoz attacks the body, just over a minute to go now in the round.
He's just such an intelligent guy, so it's so interesting to see that intelligence translated into this style.
Just made Munoz miss a couple of times there a moment ago. Yeah, Cruz moving his head well now.
And I think that's one of the underrated things about Dominic Cruz is...
Oh my goodness, Dominic Cruz teeing off.
A huge response from the former two-time champ in round 2.
A beautiful round from Dominic Cruz. And as I was saying, one of the things that's not really noticed is how tough he is.
I'm telling you, man.
You know, he's a very tough guy. He always says, I'm Tucson tough when I need to be. And that's showing right now in this fight with Pedro Munoz. This has been a beautiful round by Dominic Cruz.
This is vintage Dominic Cruz. He really hurt him with that low calf kick there as well. Oh. Good head movement there by Munoz.
Nice late kick from Munoz, but a big second round response from Cruz. 5 minutes to go. Round 3 is upon us. Cruz was largely dominant in round 2.
I tell you what, Mark Goddard is getting a workout. I'm watching this man jump away. When these guys start moving towards him, he's literally got to leap out of the way.
You heard the corner of Munoz say, you got to fight for 5 minutes like you've never fought before. So he's got to move and get after Dominic Cruz if he wants to give himself a chance.
Woo! Dominic Cruz.
Munoz did a pretty good job to raise the guard there.
But the activity of Cruz.
No doubt about it.
Cruz has been very active. He's put out a lot of information for Pedro to try to dissect. And as the second round went on, it seemed as though he was getting more and more confused at trying to solve the puzzle of Dominic Cruz.
Told us he was going to let his combinations flow. That's exactly what he has done. He's thrown almost 100 more strikes than Munoz.
Munoz is having a real hard time with the reach advantage as well.
Good point.
And Dominic is keeping him on the very end of those punches, and they're coming 1, 2, 3, 4 at a time, and he doesn't have a chance to reset and counter.
Well, because Cruz is gone.
Yes.
The moment Dom finishes his punches,
he caught him there.
He caught him with a nice right hand, yes.
And that was acknowledged by a deep breath from Cruz. 3.5 minutes to go.
But it's in between that. In between the one right hand that Pedro landed, Dominic will throw 10, 15, 20 different strikes before Pedro lands anything else.
Yeah, and Pedro's hitting a lot of air. Again with the low calf kick by Cruz and the duck under. Look at that beautiful footwork.
He sort of works off of a figure 8 mentality. He's got a whole footwork program now online.
Nice knee to the body by Cruz. Pedro's hunting for him. Dom ducked under. Dom looking for the takedown.
And even if Dominic just throws those takedowns out there, just to allow Pedro to realize that there's always something more coming. It's never going to be just what you want it to be in terms of a stand-up fight. It's a big threat.
Oh, beautiful 1-2.
Pedro Munoz remarkably fighting a Kerner former UFC champion for the 5th time in his last 6 fights.
Solid jab there by Munoz.
That tells you how special Pedro Munoz is to stay at the top for that long without being a champion yourself.
Beautiful defensive movement by Cruz to avoid all of those offerings from Munoz.
It also shows you how crazy stacked this division is.
Yes.
Highlighted by that recent title fight with Corey Sandhagen.
Petr Yan.
Petr Yan.
Petr Yan's an absolute killer, man.
God,
My goodness, he's good.
He's a murderer.
I always thought he was good, but then watching that, I was like, this dude right here is amazing.
He's so good at knowing when to start hitting the gas, too.
He just breaks people down.
Yeah. Oh, Dominic Cruz on fire.
Beautiful sequence from Cruz. Crowd enjoying his handiwork.
And the head movement as well.
You know, all credit to Dominic, the response, man. You know, when you get hurt like he got hurt in the first round, If you're not in tremendous shape, you don't recover and respond in the way that Dominic Cruz has responded over the course of these last 10 minutes.
Round 3, significant strikes. Cruz well ahead. Another miss from Munoz there.
If you're Pedro Munoz, you got to start cutting off the octagon and trying to set a trap to get Dominic Cruz to get the side of the fence so that he can't move in space. The space is what's the problem for Pedro Munoz.
It's that, and I think he's got to use the hands to set up kicks as well.
Yes,
he's
as Dom moves away.
Yeah, fake the hands and use them just to close the distance to set up kicks. And as I say that, Dom catches the kick and throws him to the ground. But I think he's bewildered at this point.
Yeah, I think that's a good adjective.
He thought he had him hurt real bad in the first, and he did. But didn't expect that Dom would be teeing off on him in the second and the third.
Right.
But that is the case.
Every time we sit down with Cruz, he talks about his ability to take damage. And in this type of matchup, he knew he was fighting a knockout artist.
Yeah, well, that's why he was so upset when the Cejudo fight was stopped early.
Right.
Oh, Dominic Cruz.
Final seconds of this one. Good stick by Munoz.
Munoz is looking for that big shot that never comes.
What a champion's response by Dominic Cruz in rounds 2 and 3. With the decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' cars for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Dominic the Dominator Cruz!
The consensus greatest bantamweight of all time, extending his winning streak tonight.